Hello friends, today is again Sunday the 21st October 2018. Today we will see the 7th stanza. Let's begin. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So here, let's first go to the stanza 7 is the summary of unwholesome consciousnesses. The summary of unwholesome consciousness. So in the summary, Acharya Anuruddha gives this one. Atthada lobha mulani dosa mulani cha dvidha moha mulani cha dveti dvadasa kusala siyum. Again, let me repeat. Atthada lobha mulani dosa mulani cha dvidha moha mulani cha dveti dvadasa kusala siyum. So this is the one. Now I have colored it, the words which are important and which has to be distinguished from the other words which exist in the, which comes in the complex words. I have colored it. Now let's dive into the subject. So we were seeing in the past 3 lectures this table, the unwholesome rooted chittas table. So we have seen the greed rooted chittas, which are number 1 to number 8. The hatred rooted chittas, which are number 9 and number 10. And then the delusion rooted chittas, which are number 11 and number 12. Now we will see the examples here before going to the before seeing the meanings of the stanza. So what we can see here is in the greed rooted chittas, in the first 4 we have the feeling is joy. In the second 4, which is chitta 5 to chitta 8, we have the equanimous feeling. So let's take the example of again the thief, the petty thief who steals a purse, for example. For the first chitta, what happens is in the first 4 chittas, the thief has the feeling of joy while doing it, while committing the act of stealing. And from the chitta 5 to chitta 8, the thief has the feeling of equanimity. Just there is only the difference in feeling here, the joy and then equanimity. So when you have the feeling of joy, the results are more dramatic. The results means the bad fruits that is got is more dramatic, and in equanimity the wrong fruit, the fruits are not so dramatic, but still dangerous in nature. So give me a minute here. So now in each when the petty thief has the feeling of joy in the mind, and has the wrong view that stealing is not wrong. Stealing is not wrong is a wrong view, and he has it in the mind, and then without prompting takes the person, runs away. The Chitta 1 is created within the billionth of a second, and somebody is prompting, his friend or her friend is prompting, take it, steal it, something like that, and then the act is committed. So it's producing Chitta number 2. The consciousness number 2 is arising, and in the next two, Chitta number 3 and 4, the only difference here is the petty thief doesn't knows clearly that stealing is wrong, and that means the petty thief doesn't hold the wrong view that stealing is not wrong, but clearly knows that stealing is wrong. So the right view is there, but joy, the feeling of joy is there, and it's actually wrong view is not associated with it. But in the first case, in Chitta number 3, the petty thief knows that it is wrong to steal, but anyway steals it. As soon as he or she sees the purse, takes it and runs away. And in the Chitta number 4, after seeing the purse, somebody prompts him through voice or through the touching or through the mind. So the mind, some gods or some thoughts of stealing itself. If some thoughts, some memories, if someone has or we have, when we stole, we had the feeling of say joy or something like that, is enough to prompt the person to steal it, to get such type of feeling back. This we can see in the serial bank robberies. The feeling of satisfaction or the happiness that they get by stealing the bank is the cause for these chittas. They know that it is wrong to steal the bank, but they want to steal it, and they do it because they have the prompting is from the mind itself, and the prompting is from the mind itself. And without prompting is sudden stealing, is called suddenly. There is no preparation at all. Suddenly going and stealing is the Chitta number 3. The same thing we can imagine, only the mental state is equanimity instead of joy. And the mind is calm. It doesn't have hate, displeasure, or doesn't have joy, but it has equanimity. But the same conditions is Chitta number 5, Chitta number 6, Chitta number 7, and Chitta number 8. Let us see again here. For example, the thief, the petty thief, has the equanimous mind, is not joyful, is not also unhappy, is in the calm state, but has the wrong view that stealing is not wrong, and does it, and without prompting suddenly takes the person, runs away. And here somebody prompts it, or so the thought of stealing before has prompted it, and here the thief clearly knows that it is wrong to steal, but anyway steals it without, as on seeing, suddenly takes it and runs away. Here the Chitta number 7 is produced in the mind, and in the mind within a billionth of a second of committing the act. And here there is prompting, there's prompting from the mind. The prompting from the mind is otherwise called as a preparation. You prepare, for example, 2 or 3 steps to execute, you plan in the mind and then use a tool to do it or something like that. So for example, a person, here the prompting can be even a person is prompting to do it. The prompting also can be like, for example, the boss of thieves prompts the thieves who work under him to do it. So that's a type of prompting, and this will produce the chitta number 8 when the thief is having an equanimous mind. So this is through example we have analyzed the greed rooted chittas. We will go to example for the hatred rooted chittas. So when the hatred rooted chitta arises, there is displeasure, certainly displeasure in the mind. This is the only feeling that is arising because of hatred. So there will be surely displeasure, and then the what is associated with this displeasure is, or with this feeling or this hatred, is called aversion. Aversion is called patika. Patika in Pali language is called aversion, or it can be also taken as hatred in a broader sense. So here there is without prompting it's chitta number 9, and with prompting it's chitta number 10. So let's analyze, for example, say a killer, or is having a knife or a sword, is seeing a person whom he doesn't like, whom he hates too much. On seeing the person, the feeling is displeasure in his mind, and then the aversion starts to come up, and then without thinking suddenly kills the person with the knife or the sword. So this type, when this act is done, suddenly the chitta number 9 is produced within a billionth of a second. Only a Buddha can, why these chittas can be clearly seen only by the Buddhas and Arahants. So in another scenario, in the hatred-rooted chittas, the killer having a knife or a sword, on seeing a person whom he really hates very badly, in his mind there is displeasure that is arising, the feeling of displeasure that is arising, and then there is aversion that is coming up in his mind strongly, and then his associate or his friend is prompting to kill him. This is the chance, come on, kill him, and then he kills him. So it's chitta number 10. Or the prompting can be from the mind itself. For example, he can think about some other killings he might have done of someone whom he really disliked before, and on killing he might have felt very happy. He might have got some type of benefits. So on getting some benefits, so such type of memories might trigger a prompting, and then he does it. But anyway, when doing this, there is displeasure You can see certainly on the face the grin, the very strong muscles of the face when doing it can be. It is the sign of displeasures for sure. And now this is chitta number 9 and 10 with prompting and without prompting and with prompting. And then we go to the example for delusion. In delusion, rooted chittas, the feeling which is occurring is just one feeling, which is equanimity only. And what it is associated with is, the first one is doubt. With doubt, it is chitta number 11. With restlessness, it's chitta number 12. Imagine a person gets the feeling of restlessness. For example, he has written an exam and is waiting for the results, and he feels the mind is not having displeasure or is not joyful, but the mind is having equanimity, but is restless. The associated one is associated, associated another feeling is restlessness. So he's restless until he can see the result. So here the chitta number 12 is produced. And regarding the doubt, for example, the classic example is doubting the Buddha himself is the chitta number 11. Doubting that, for example, there is two types of doubting that the Buddha was enlightened was or not is a very strong delusion. That such a person doesn't have the chance to purify the mind and come to the path the Buddha has, the pure path that Buddha has told in the Theravada Buddhism. I am considering, and through my mind, through my intuition and all the suttas on all the things that I have read, and I am convinced that I'm certain and I'm very much convinced that Theravada Buddhism is the correct one, and is very near to is the closest one to what Buddha told, and it's the direct path to what the Buddha told. So, for example, doubting. So here the chitta number 11 is produced. So I had also told that we will be seeing in short the Four Noble Truths that is associated with delusion here. So the Four Noble Truths, I haven't made any slides for now because that we will be just seeing it as just through words. We will see it in detail in the future lectures. So the Four Noble Truths, or the first Noble Truth, is suffering itself. Suffering itself. So let's take the help of one of the slides here. So here is the wheel of life. In the wheel of life there is this birth, jati, aging, jara, sickness, vyadi, and then death, marana, and then there will be again a jati, again a birth. So here what the Buddha is telling about as suffering is the existential suffering. Existential suffering is the suffering you get in every life. Every life, whether you're born as a human or a god or a Brahma or an animal or ghost or a hell being or a titan beings, or strong, very powerful beings. It doesn't matter. Everyone goes through this one, and there is suffering, the existential suffering, which is coming from our first existence, through the delusion. It is keeping on coming, and it is coming and coming, and it is repeating and repeating. So that type of suffering is called existential suffering. What the Buddha is telling, is denoting, is that type of suffering. It is not the suffering. What the Buddha is telling is like some people think that the Buddha is telling about the momentary suffering. Like, for example, when you're eating, you suddenly bite chili, a very hot chili, and then you suffer for that by drinking, and then quench it by drinking water, and like the suffering which you have in the pain or the suffering which you have in the mouth or in the tongue is not what Buddha is telling is not the sudden thing what we have here. What Buddha is telling is also this is also inclusive of that. What Buddha is telling is the existential suffering that comes through the wheel of life, the bhava chakra. It comes like a snake through the wheel of life, through the wheel of birth, aging, sickness, and death. Say, sickness is of course very painful, and aging is of course painful because you keep aging and you keep getting diseases, and you are going near to death, marana. So birth itself is a type of suffering only. So so the first noble truth is suffering, the existential suffering which is coming from the first existence that we have had through billions of births and deaths. A Buddha can see at the blink of an eye. He can see billions of births and deaths, or billions of lives of billions of beings. But that we cannot do it at the moment. So that is the suffering which the Buddha can see among all the beings through their billions of births. So that's what Buddha is telling as suffering. The first noble truth is suffering, existential suffering. The second noble truth is there is a cause for suffering. The cause for suffering is birth. In the core there is delusion, is of course birth. If you are not born, then you will not face aging, you will not face sickness, you will not face death, you will not be born at all. So the Buddha, after his parinibbana, or the final entry into the nibbana, after he died through the body, this body died, he has gone into nibbana, which is free from the cycle of life, the wheel of life. He will never be born, hence he will never age, he will never have sickness, he will never have death. So there is cause of suffering, cause of existential suffering is called as the second noble truth. And then the third noble truth is there is a way, that is the way that Buddha is showing. There is a way out of this suffering. That is the way of the Buddha. Whatever Buddha has told can be included in the third noble truth, because that is the way through which we can break the wheel of life. we can free ourselves from the rebirth and thereby free ourselves from aging, sickness and death. So that is the way. And then which is the Noble Eightfold Path, actually that is called as the Noble Eightfold Path, which the Buddha told. We will again see that, we will see that clearly in the future lectures. And the fourth noble truth is Nibbana itself. Nibbana, there is a state. There is a state that is free from all existential sufferings, which is called Nibbana itself. Nibbana. So, so these four are the noble truths that the Buddha has told. Let's close this lecture by knowing the meaning of this one. So, meaning of the stanza here. Atthada lobha mulani. So atthada is eights. In eight, the lobha is greed rooted chittas, or in eight. Atthada is 8 or 8s. And then dosa mulani, second one is the dosa mulani. Dosa is hatred. Hatred is in hatred root. Mulani is roots. With hatred roots or dvida, or two in number. Dvida is twos or two in number. And moha is delusion. Mulani is rootedness. Delusion rootedness is dve, is two. Thi is in all, in two, in all. So dvadasa, dva is two, and dasa is 10. Let me do it here. Dva is so here. So dwa is 2 and das is 10. So 10 and 2 is 12. Dwadas is 12. Akusala is unwholesome. Unwholesome is kusala is wholesome. Akusala is unwholesome. So here dwadasa kusala. Siyum is the in all, in full is 12. So there are 12 unwholesome rooted chittas that are lobha mulani, dosa mulani, and moha mulani. Lobha is greed rooted chittas, which are 8 in number. Dosa mulani, or hatred rooted chittas, which are 2 in number. Moha mulani is delusion rooted chittas, that is again 2 in number. In total there are 12 dvadas, 12 akusala chittani. Akusala is unwholesome chittas. So let's finish this lecture. So it's Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Let all beings be happy. Let all beings get whatever they want. Let everyone be free from the karmic debts that we have. Let everyone freely forgive others' karmic debts, and let I also willingly and without any condition free all the beings from all the karmic debts that they have towards me. And I I request all the beings to free me from all the karmic debts that I might have with them, and I also pray, I also request the Buddhas, the Pacceka Buddhas and the Arahants to forgive me for all the wrongs that I might have done to them in the past, present and future. So, and I also share all the merits that I have amassed from the beginning of my existence, which is in the past, present and in the future lives to come, that whatever are the merits that I have amassed and will amass, let it be shared without any condition, equally with all the beings, irrespective of any differences, without any condition or precondition, or without any stoppage. I share with them. Let all beings be happy, let all beings get whatever they want. Thank you.